Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you here today.
Have you ever noticed that some of the most interesting conversations start with two simple words? What if?
That's true. Someone says, "What if you could live anywhere in the world?" And suddenly you're not talking about the weather anymore. You're talking about dreams, fears, choices, and all the things hidden in the back of your mind.
I love those questions because there isn't always a correct answer. Nobody is trying to win an argument. You're just exploring a possibility.
And sometimes the answer surprises you. You think you know yourself, then someone asks a strange question and you discover something new.
I had that experience recently.
Now I'm curious. What happened?
A friend asked me, "What if you could wake up tomorrow and have every skill you've ever wanted?" At first, I thought the answer was obvious. Of course I would say yes.
Who wouldn't?
That's what I thought. But then I kept thinking about it. If everything became easy overnight, would I still appreciate the journey? Would success feel meaningful if I never struggled?
That's deeper than I expected.
See? That's the power of a good what-if question. It starts as a simple scenario, but it quickly turns into something bigger.
I think human beings are naturally built for that kind of thinking. We don't just live in the present, we imagine different outcomes all the time.
Sometimes for fun.
Sometimes because we're worried.
That's also true.
Think about it. If you're waiting for an important interview, you might think, "What if I get the job?" Then 5 minutes later, you're thinking, "What if I don't get the job?"
Our brains seem to enjoy creating alternative versions of reality.
Sometimes a little too much.
You're talking about overthinking, aren't you?
Guilty. I can turn one small decision into 20 different scenarios.
Give me an example.
Last month, I was invited to a gathering, a very simple invitation. Most people would read the message and decide in 30 seconds.
And you?
I spent half an hour imagining every possible outcome. What if it's boring? What if it's fun? What if I don't know anyone? What if I meet someone interesting? What if I leave too early? What if I stay too late?
That's amazing.
Not in a good way.
I can relate, though. Sometimes imagination is helpful, and sometimes it feels like your brain is creating extra homework.
That's a perfect description.
But here's the interesting thing. Even when our predictions are completely wrong, we still keep imagining possibilities.
Because possibilities are exciting.
They are.
Every possibility contains a story.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Think about children. They're constantly asking questions.
They really are.
What if animals could talk? What if people could fly? What if I lived on the moon?
Children don't worry about whether a question sounds realistic. They're simply exploring.
Somewhere along the way, adults become more practical.
Yet we never completely lose that curiosity.
I don't think we can. It's part of who we are.
Have you ever wondered why some people love movies and books so much?
Because they let us experience different lives?
Yes, a story is basically a giant what-if question.
That's fascinating.
What if a person discovered a hidden treasure? What if someone traveled through time? What if two strangers met on a train and their lives changed forever?
When you put it that way, imagination is everywhere.
It isn't limited to fiction either.
Right. Entrepreneurs use it.
Scientists use it.
Inventors use it.
Even ordinary people use it every day without realizing it.
Imagine if nobody ever asked, "What if?"
Progress would probably stop.
New ideas often begin with curiosity.
Someone looks at the world and thinks, what if there's a better way?
That's how many breakthroughs start.
Yet curiosity isn't only about changing the world.
Sometimes it's about understanding yourself.
I agree.
There are moments when a simple question reveals something important. Maybe someone asks, "What if you never had to work again?" And your answer shows what truly matters to you.
Or someone asks, what if you could relive one day from your past, and suddenly you're thinking about memories you haven't visited in years?
Some memories make you smile,
Some make you emotional.
and some remind you how much you've changed.
That's another reason I enjoy these conversations. They feel personal without being uncomfortable.
You're not talking directly about your life, you're talking about a scenario, yet somehow the scenario still reveals who you are.
That's a great observation.
Thanks.
I sometimes think about how different life could have been if a few small decisions had changed.
Me too.
Different school, different city, different friends,
Different opportunities.
different outcomes.
It's strange, isn't it? One small choice can affect so many things,
And yet we can never know what the alternative reality looks like.
which is probably why we keep imagining it,
Human beings seem to love mysteries.
especially mysteries involving ourselves.
So, today we're going to explore some fun, thought-provoking, and sometimes surprising what-if situations.
And who knows, along the way, you might learn new vocabulary, discover new ideas, and maybe even learn something unexpected about yourself.
Speaking of learning something unexpected about yourself, here's a what-if question that I've always found interesting. What if you could wake up tomorrow and speak any language in the world perfectly?
That's a good one. No studying, no grammar exercises, no awkward mistakes. You just wake up fluent.
Which language would you choose?
I'd probably choose Japanese.
Really?
Yeah, I've always been interested in Japan. The culture seems fascinating, and I'd love to travel there one day. If I could speak Japanese fluently, I think the whole experience would feel different.
In what way?
I could communicate with people naturally. I wouldn't be limited to tourist areas. I could have real conversations, ask questions, and understand everyday life from a local perspective.
I think that's what makes language so powerful. It changes how deeply you experience a place.
Exactly.
Oops, you know we're trying not to use that word today.
Good catch. Let me try again. You're right. When you understand the language, you stop feeling like an observer and start feeling like a participant.
That's a much better way to say it. What about you? Which language would you choose? If I could choose one instantly, I'd probably choose Spanish.
Why Spanish?
For a few reasons. It's spoken in so many countries, so it would create a lot of opportunities for travel. I'd also love to connect with more people and learn about different cultures.
That's one thing I admire about people who speak multiple languages. They can move between different worlds.
That's true. Every language opens a door to new friendships.
Have you ever met someone and wished you could speak their language?
Many times. A few years ago, I met an elderly woman while traveling. She seemed kind and wanted to talk, but we only shared a handful of words.
That's frustrating.
It was. I remember thinking that she probably had amazing stories to tell. We smiled at each other, but our conversation never went beyond simple greetings.
Moments like that remind you how important communication is.
They do. Sometimes the language barrier feels small, and sometimes it feels enormous.
I had a similar experience once. I met a traveler on a train. He spoke 4 languages.
4? That's impressive.
Very impressive. He could switch between languages without even thinking about it. People from different countries would start talking to him, and he could communicate with all of them.
That must have given him a lot of confidence.
It seemed to. He looked comfortable wherever he went.
That's another benefit people don't always talk about. Learning a language can increase your confidence.
Definitely. Imagine being able to walk into a room full of strangers and know you can communicate with them,
It would make life easier.
especially when traveling.
Or working internationally.
That's a great point. Speaking another language could create career opportunities too.
Employers often value people who can communicate with clients or coworkers from different countries.
So the benefits aren't only personal, they can be professional as well.
On the other hand, I think there is something valuable about the learning process itself.
How so?
When you learn a language slowly, you develop patience. You make mistakes, improve, and gradually become more confident.
I agree. If everything happened instantly, you'd miss that sense of achievement.
The first time you successfully hold a conversation in a new language feels amazing,
Even if it's a short conversation.
especially if you've worked hard for it.
So maybe the dream isn't only speaking a language perfectly, maybe it's having the chance to connect with more people.
I like that. At the end of the day, language is really about connection.
And every new language gives you another way to understand the world and the people in it.
That idea of connection makes me think of another interesting question. What if money was no problem?
Now that's a question people love discussing.
For good reason.
Are we talking about being comfortable or are we talking about being extremely wealthy?
Let's go big. Imagine you have complete financial freedom. You never have to worry about bills, rent, groceries, or retirement.
Wow!
What would your life look like?
My first thought is travel.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'd probably spend a year exploring different countries, not rushing from place to place either. I'd stay long enough to really experience them.
That's important. A lot of people travel with a schedule that's packed from morning to night. I'd rather slow down.
Sit in local cafes, walk through neighborhoods, and observe everyday life.
Exactly. I'd want to understand how people actually live.
I think I'd travel too, but not forever.
Really? Traveling is exciting, but eventually I need a place that feels like home.
That's fair.
What about work? Would you stop working completely?
That's a tough question.
I knew you'd hesitate.
Because my answer has changed over the years. When I was younger, I thought unlimited money meant never working again.
And now?
Now, I think I'd still work.
Interesting.
Maybe not in the same way. I wouldn't work because I needed a paycheck. I'd work because I wanted to create something meaningful.
I understand that.
Human beings need a sense of purpose. Without it, even a luxurious life can start to feel empty.
I agree. Sometimes people imagine that unlimited free time automatically leads to happiness.
But happiness is more complicated than that.
Much more complicated.
Have you ever had a long vacation where after a while you started missing your normal routine?
Absolutely. At first, it feels wonderful. Then, after a few weeks, you begin looking for structure again.
That's what makes me think I'd still work on projects I care about.
I think I would too.
What kind of projects?
Creative ones. Writing, learning, teaching, maybe helping people develop new skills.
So money wouldn't remove your ambitions.
No. If money weren't an issue, it would simply give me more freedom to choose what I work on.
That's a great distinction.
What about luxury? Would you buy expensive things?
Some things, probably.
Such as?
A comfortable home, maybe a beautiful view, better travel experiences.
Nothing too outrageous?
Not really. I've never dreamed about owning 10 sports cars.
Same here.
It's funny, when people imagine being wealthy, they often focus on things.
Big houses, fancy watches, expensive clothes.
Yet the older I get, the more I value experiences.
Me too.
A memorable trip stays with you. A meaningful conversation stays with you.
A strong friendship stays with you.
Those things feel more valuable than possessions.
There's another thing I'd do if I had complete financial freedom.
What's that?
I'd give a significant amount to charity.
I was thinking the same thing.
There are so many people struggling with challenges they didn't choose.
Being able to help would be an incredible opportunity.
And I think helping others would bring more satisfaction than buying another luxury item.
That's probably true.
So, after all this discussion, do you think unlimited money would make someone happy?
I think it could remove many sources of stress.
But
Happiness still depends on relationships, purpose, health, and how you spend your time.
in other words, money can improve life, but it can't answer every question.
And perhaps the real dream isn't being wealthy, it's having enough freedom to build a life that genuinely feels meaningful.
Since we've been talking about choices and meaningful lives, here's a question that feels a little more personal. What if you could go back 5 years?
5 years? Not 10?
Just 5, not far enough to become a completely different person, but far enough to see things differently.
That's dangerous.
Why dangerous?
Because the moment you ask that question, every old regret suddenly walks back into the room.
That's true.
Looking back, there are definitely decisions I would handle differently.
Such as?
I spent too much time waiting for the perfect moment to do things.
I can relate to that.
I'd have an idea, get excited, and then spend months overthinking it.
Trying to avoid mistakes?
Exactly. I wanted certainty.
And what did that get you?
Mostly frustration.
That's a lesson many people learn eventually.
If I could visit my younger self, I'd tell myself that mistakes are usually less painful than missed opportunities.
That's a powerful statement.
What about you?
I think I'd tell my younger self to trust herself more.
Confidence?
Yes, there were situations where I knew what I wanted, but I worried too much about what other people might think.
That's a common struggle.
I wish I had understood sooner that most people are focused on their own lives.
That's funny because it's true.
We imagine everyone is watching us.
Meanwhile, they're busy worrying about themselves.
Exactly.
Do you have any major regrets?
Not major ones.
That's healthy.
I have regrets, but I also recognize that every experience taught me something.
So you wouldn't erase your mistakes?
No.
Really?
Think about it. Some of my biggest moments of growth came after things went wrong.
That's true.
Failure taught me patience. Disappointment taught me resilience.
And difficult situations taught perspective.
Yes.
It's strange. Nobody enjoys hard times while they're happening.
Yet years later, those moments often become the lessons we're most grateful for.
Maybe that's why people say everything happens for a reason.
I'm not sure every event happens for a reason.
Fair point.
But I do think we can find meaning in difficult experiences.
I like that version better.
If life were perfect, we wouldn't learn much.
We certainly wouldn't develop character.
Or wisdom.
So maybe going back 5 years wouldn't be about changing everything.
Maybe it would simply be about offering a little encouragement.
Imagine meeting your younger self for coffee.
That's such a funny image.
What would you say first?
I'd probably say, relax. Things work out better than you think.
That's good.
What would you say?
Stop waiting for permission.
Wow.
I wasted a lot of time waiting for someone else to tell me I was ready.
That's something many people need to hear.
Including me.
Well, fortunately, life only moves forward.
Which means the advice we wish we had can still help us today.
That's a comforting thought.
It is.
Speaking of moving forward, here's a challenge. What if you had to live without your phone for an entire year?
A year?
A full year.
I'd struggle at first.
Most people would.
My phone does everything. Messages, maps, photos, banking, music.
Don't forget endless notifications.
Unfortunately, yes.
To be honest, I think the first week would be surprisingly difficult.
Especially because we've built so many habits around our phones.
Sometimes I reach for my phone without even realizing it.
Same.
Have you ever unlocked your phone and then forgotten why?
More times than I'd like to admit.
That's how automatic it's become.
It's almost like a reflex.
What would you miss most?
Probably convenience.
That's fair.
Need directions? Phone. Need information? Phone. Need to contact someone? Phone.
Modern life is built around them.
What about you?
I'd miss taking pictures.
Good answer.
There are moments when you see something beautiful and want to capture it instantly.
Although there's an argument that we sometimes photograph too much.
What do you mean?
Sometimes we're so busy recording experiences that we forget to enjoy them.
That's true.
Have you ever seen people at a concert watching the entire performance through their screens?
Yes, and it always feels a little strange.
They're physically present but mentally somewhere else.
That's an interesting observation.
On the positive side, living without a phone might improve productivity.
Definitely.
No social media distractions,
No constant notifications interrupting your focus.
no temptation to check messages every 5 minutes.
I suspect many people would sleep better too.
Probably.
The first month would be difficult.
But eventually you'd adjust.
I'd get used to it.
Me too.
Human beings are surprisingly adaptable.
We always find new routines.
Do you think you'd be happier?
It depends.
Good answer.
I'd miss certain conveniences, but I might feel calmer.
Less noise.
Less pressure to stay connected all the time.
That's something modern life doesn't always provide.
Space to think.
Space to be bored.
And boredom isn't always bad.
Some of the best ideas arrive when your mind has room to wander.
Maybe the real challenge isn't living without phones.
What's the real challenge?
Learning to use them without letting them control us.
That's a lesson worth remembering.
Absolutely.
Here's another one. What if you could work from anywhere in the world?
Now you're speaking my language.
I had a feeling you'd like this question.
Remote work has changed how many people think about life.
It really has.
Years ago, your job usually determined where you lived.
Now, some people can take their work almost anywhere.
If I had complete flexibility, I'd love to spend several months in different countries each year.
Which countries?
Portugal comes to mind.
Interesting choice.
Beautiful coastline, great food, and a relaxed lifestyle.
That sounds appealing.
What about you?
I'd love to work near the mountains.
Mountains over beaches?
Every time.
Not even close?
Not even close.
I respect your commitment.
There's something peaceful about waking up and seeing mountains outside your window.
I can understand that.
Plus, being surrounded by nature helps me focus.
Definitely environment affects productivity.
It does.
Remote work offers incredible flexibility.
But it's not perfect.
The downside is that people often imagine only the exciting parts.
The travel photos.
The beautiful cafes.
The ocean views.
Nobody posts photos of technical problems.
Or unreliable internet.
Or meetings at strange hours because of time zone differences.
That's true.
Imagine finishing work at midnight because your team is on the other side of the world.
That could become exhausting.
Work-life balance becomes more important than ever.
I think balance is the key word.
Why?
Because flexibility can be wonderful, but without boundaries, work can slowly take over your life.
That's very true.
If your office is everywhere, it can start feeling like it's nowhere.
That's a surprisingly deep thought.
Thank you.
As long as people create healthy routines, remote work can be amazing.
More freedom.
More opportunities.
More experiences.
And perhaps a chance to design a lifestyle that fits who you are, rather than who others expect you to be.
We've talked about the past, technology, and where we'd like to live. Now I have a question that feels a little mysterious. What if you could know one thing about your future?
Only one thing?
Just one.
That's difficult.
Good questions usually are.
My first instinct is to say no.
Really?
Yeah, I think part of life's beauty comes from uncertainty.
That's an interesting thought.
Imagine watching a movie when you already know every important scene. The surprises disappear.
I understand that. Still, there are moments when knowing something ahead of time sounds tempting.
Such as?
Health.
Ah,
If I knew there was a serious health problem waiting for me years from now, I could prepare for it.
that's a strong argument.
It could be helpful.
Definitely.
What about you?
I'm not sure.
That's honest.
The problem is that every answer creates new questions. If I learn something wonderful about my future, I might become impatient waiting for it.
That's true.
And if I learn something difficult, I might spend years worrying about it.
So the information could become a burden.
Exactly.
Let's say you have to choose. No escaping the question.
You're making this difficult.
That's my job.
In that case, I'd probably want to know whether the people I care about are happy and healthy.
That's a very thoughtful answer.
Career success sounds nice, But when I picture my future, the people in my life matter more.
I think many people feel that way.
What would you choose?
I might want to know whether I'm on the right path.
What does that mean?
Sometimes life feels uncertain. You make decisions, work hard, and hope you're moving in the right direction.
I know that feeling.
It would be comforting to know that my efforts eventually lead somewhere meaningful.
So you're not asking about a specific achievement.
No, more about purpose.
That's deeper than asking whether you'll become successful.
Success means different things to different people.
That's very true.
Some people define success through money.
Others define it through relationships.
Or personal growth.
Or peace of mind.
Have you ever noticed how often people predict their future incorrectly?
Constantly.
5 years ago, I thought my life would look completely different than it does today.
Same here.
Some of the most important experiences in my life were things I never planned.
That's one reason I'm hesitant about knowing the future.
Because life surprises us?
Exactly. Some of the best opportunities arrived unexpectedly.
Unexpected friendships, too.
And unexpected lessons.
Sometimes a small choice changes everything.
Which makes me wonder how much of life is destiny and how much is choice.
That's a question people have debated forever.
What's your opinion?
I think we all face circumstances we can't control.
Agreed.
But our choices still matter. They shape who we become.
I like that balance.
We too.
So maybe knowing the future isn't as important as we think?
Why do you say that?
Because knowing the destination doesn't automatically improve the journey.
That's a beautiful way to look at it.
Life would probably feel less meaningful if every mystery disappeared.
Maybe uncertainty isn't always something to fear.
Maybe it's part of what makes life exciting.
And perhaps the future is valuable precisely because we haven't seen it yet.
Which means tomorrow still has the power to surprise us.
Since we've spent so much time thinking about possibilities today, I think it's time for a challenge.
A challenge?
A rapid-fire what-if challenge.
That sounds dangerous.
That's part of the fun. No long thinking, just answer whatever comes to mind.
I'll do my best.
First question. What if animals could talk?
I think humanity would be in trouble.
Why?
Because every pet would immediately start sharing secrets.
That's probably true.
Imagine coming home and your dog says, "By the way, I saw you drop food on the floor and pretend it never happened."
I was expecting something profound.
You got honesty instead.
Fair enough. I think talking animals would make people more compassionate.
How so?
If animals could express their thoughts and feelings, we'd understand them differently.
That's a good point.
It might completely change how humans interact with nature.
Okay, next question.
What if you never needed sleep?
At first, that sounds amazing.
More hours in the day.
More time for hobbies, travel, learning, and work.
But,
The night would lose some of its magic.
interesting.
Some of my favorite memories involve late-night conversations, long flights, and that peaceful feeling when the world gets quiet.
I never thought about it that way.
Plus, sleep gives us a natural pause. Without it, life might feel endless.
I think I'd still choose no sleep.
Really?
There are too many books I want to read.
That's a very Anna answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question. What if you could teleport?
Oh, that's easy. I'd use it every day.
No airports?
No security lines.
No delayed flights?
No delayed flights.
You seem very excited about this.
Imagine visiting another country for lunch and being home in time for dinner.
That would completely transform travel.
It would also make staying connected with friends and family much easier.
That's true. Where would you teleport first?
Somewhere with mountains.
Of course. You knew that answer before I said it.
I absolutely did.
Next question. What if every day was a weekend?
That sounds wonderful for about 2 weeks.
Then what?
Then weekends would stop feeling special.
That's a great observation.
We appreciate weekends partly because they're different from weekdays.
So if every day became a weekend,
Then nothing would feel like a weekend anymore.
that's surprisingly philosophical.
Thank you. I have my moments.
Last question. What if you could relive one day from your life?
Just one?
Just one.
I'd choose a day spent with family years ago.
That's sweet.
Not because it was dramatic, it was actually very ordinary.
Why that day?
Because at the time, I didn't realize how special it was.
I understand that completely.
Sometimes the moments we miss most are the ones that seemed normal when they happened.
That's beautiful.
What about you?
I'd relive a day when I was traveling with close friends.
A big adventure?
Not really. We spent hours talking, laughing, and exploring a city together.
One of those days you wish you could pause?
Exactly.
Funny how memory works.
It is.
We often think the happiest moments will be the biggest ones.
Yet many of our favorite memories are surprisingly simple.
A conversation,
A shared meal.
a walk somewhere beautiful.
A moment that felt ordinary until years later.
Looking back, today's questions weren't really about fantasy.
You're right.
They were about values,
What matters to us?
what we hope for,
What we fear?
and what we appreciate.
That's one reason what-if questions are so useful for learning English.
They encourage real conversations instead of short answers,
They help you express opinions,
share experiences,
practice new vocabulary.
and develop confidence speaking naturally.
So here's a challenge for everyone listening.
Create your own what-if questions.
Ask them to friends, classmates, family members, or even yourself.
You might improve your English,
And you might discover something new about the people around you.
or about yourself.
Thanks for joining us for this conversation.
And remember, sometimes the most interesting answers begin with two simple words: what if?